by she, her, hers, and I'm the grandchild of Elsie and Linda and Thomas, and I'm the child of Bruce and Greta. I'm a singer, songwriter, poet, overall musician, and I'm from New York, which is stolen Lenape land. Loving me means to me, it means power, it means passion, and I feel like it's also an obligation. I feel like some of our ancestors went through so much, and I feel like you're obligated to love yourself because that is a revolution. As much as we talk about protesting and all this different stuff, by me loving myself, it is a protest for all the people that are against me and continue to try to oppress people that look like me. Sometimes when I don't believe in myself, whether that means music, whether that means me emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, whatever it is, and that part of the community pours into that. There's also different types of community for different needs. Like there's only some people that'll understand where I'm coming from musically. They might not get me emotionally, and that's perfectly fine. Those communities serve different things. Just pouring in my cup where I feel like it needs to be filled, or where I'm not seeing where it needs to be filled too, which comes down to community too. Sometimes you don't notice what you're going through until somebody lets you know how messed up it looks. And then that person helps you realize how much you need to go back to falling on community or falling on that level of self. When people see that I'm not being my true self, I'm usually bubbly. And if I have those moments where I kind of feel a shift in my energy, I tend to do that. Also just, again, talking to people that I talk to every day, and those same people, because we just have a trust with one another, it's never coming out of hate. They'll be like, I don't think you're acting like yourself, is everything good? Also just red flags, sometimes trusting that gut, that instinct. My gut isn't that strong, I promise, even though I'll be lactose intolerant, all of that. But my outside people will let me know, or it's just my gut. Patience, accepting that sometimes the love of self is up and down, it's not perfect. Some people make it seem like you're constantly gonna love yourself, and that is not true. Sometimes you might hate yourself, sometimes you might hate the decision that you made when you were 4 years old, when you stole the cookie out the jar, or other heavy things, traumas and whatnot, but giving myself patience. And definitely remembering that there is always tomorrow. I know that sounds silly, but betting that you can start over, start something new the next day, and have a better feeling, a better approach, a better thinking, a better situation, because there's always tomorrow. Care for me is poetry. It's reading poetry, it's listening to poetry, taking it slow. I don't know why, but being on the East Coast makes you just want to be fast-paced like nobody's business. So definitely take the time to move it slow, listening to my body. I have a thing, I don't know if anybody else, we just kind of feel like a robot, just keep going. So usually I'll listen to my body, lets me know what I need to be doing. Yeah. And remembering to like love myself. Affirmations in the morning before I go to bed, and telling other people things that I want to hear too. So, yeah. Love and unity is a thing that's an overall feeling. It's not something that kind of gets taken away. I don't know how spiritual everybody is, but love is patient, love is kind, and all those different things. So it's something that can't be taken away just because of something wrong. Please believe that love and unity is something that's owed to you. The universe will give it to you. It just comes with time. And love and unity is people, and accepting them for who they are and who you are too, and being self-aware of all of that. When you're not self-aware, you won't know who to love or how to receive love or how to give love. And then within that, it's hard for you to be unified because you're missing those steps.
My name is Kike Ayodeji. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the child of Hakeem Ayodeji and Omowumi Akinwale. My maternal grandparents are from Nigeria, and their names are Oladuti Akinwale and Peter Akinwale. Currently, I live in Laurel, which is stolen property of the Piscataway tribe, and I refer to myself as a storyteller. I think stories are so powerful and can bring people together and unite people. I was born with sickle cell disease, and so when I was younger, I used to get sick a lot. And my mom, she would bring movies to the hospital, and I would watch them, and they would take all my pain away. And I was like, I want to be able to take pain away from people, even if it's like for 30 minutes or 4 minutes or 2 minutes. I want to be able to take people away for a couple of minutes just to ease their pain, and just make them laugh or even cry, or whatever emotion I'm able to invoke for those couple of minutes. That's what I want to do. I want to tell stories. I want to ease people's pain. I think art heals, and I think art unites. especially in this year where we just had a whole pandemic and people were isolated and hurting and alone. And I think right now is the time to bring people together. It's the perfect time just to come together. Different colors, different tribes, different people, just coming together to love and to feel and to make art.
Hi, my name is Song Aziza Tucker. My pronouns are she, her. I am from the stolen land of the Lenape people. I'm the child of Michelle London and Baruti Tucker. And I am a dance artist. I've made 3 different works. This is the work of Thawing, I Used to Love Her, and one that's in process. They're all movement-based works that are inspired by my own writings. My writings are usually in response or in collaboration with people that I'm inspired by, Sadia Hartman, Zandria Phillips. The past work that I have done is called This is the Work of Thawing, as mentioned, and it is my baby. It's talking about water. My relation to water has a lot to do with the sunkenness of water. It has a lot to do with the amount of care and responsibility that is in it. I'm eternally drawn to the depth in the way that it cleanses and washes over all wounds, and yet caters meticulously to those wounds in a way that is ever-present, overflowing, and extremely wondrous. There are many times where I just get lost in water. I have a deep fear of water, so there's like a tie between an admiration and that fear that I believe many people have, and it's something that I work through. Something that I also work through as a Black femme woman who is the descendant of enslaved peoples in America. And so my relationship to water has a lot to do with death, and it has a lot to do with desire.
I'm also a firm believer that the land continuously gives back. Like, I've been performing at Washington Square Park in Philly, and the park used to be named Congo Square because a lot of freed and enslaved Africans, and generations from Africans would be there and would trade among each other or be traded upon. And a lot of them were also buried there because of yellow fever, I believe, um, that just like plagued a lot of them. And so like that is it's a huge cemetery for both white people but also Black people. And every time I dance there, I have to like, I mean, one, I get extremely nervous whenever I perform, so I have to do a meditative practice every time I perform. Like there have been so many glimpses of like my friends, like they were saying, oh, like while you move, like the lights turned on, or the sun began to shine when there were just clouds, or the birds just all of a sudden like flew in the middle of the day when birds don't usually fly. And I really do feel that whatever is there, or whatever is you're walking amongst, like if they truly, if you are committed to yourself, they truly act in the commitment of giving back to you. And I think that's really important, like noticing it and then also putting in the effort to give back. And I mean, this past weekend was my 3rd time performing there, but I really felt like this time it was a relationship. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna give back to this land. This land is gonna give back to me, and it became like this really powerful moment of me like giving back to a space that I had not even that I don't really even know that intimately.
There is being present in the moment and doing what you feel like is necessary for yourself.
Common theme with water, and just it just makes me reflect. It just takes away like bills or this and that. Oh, I have to do this. This self tape is due. I get to just walk and be with nature, and you just see beautiful things. Like I saw ducks. I mean, I recorded everything. I saw ducks and ducklings. I saw flowers. It's springtime. So things are budding that weren't there before. I saw like carvings. People carved initials in trees. And it was just beautiful bliss for me.
I think capitalism pushes artists to be in a cycle of ongoing creation, always. If we're not creating, then we're nothing. And so, especially during COVID, especially during this pandemic where people are stuck in the ways that we've used to create, we found a new way to create, and we're creating in a frequency that's almost unhealthy, at least to me, in my eyes. And it's no longer creation, it just has a lot to do with content and the way that we can produce. And so I asked, is it gonna hug me? Because yeah, I mean, maybe it looks nice and maybe it's curated well on our screens and maybe it'll make us laugh, maybe it'll make us smile, but is it going to hug me for a long time? Is it going to hug me in that way that a hug feels, that's enduring, that has a commitment, that is activated, that is motivational? And I think that beats capitalism.
Love and unity is everything to me. I think in the past couple of years with COVID and with racial tensions, we've been lacking love and unity. And I think it's hard. It's hard to get together with someone who has differences. You know, we all have different color skins, different ethnicities, different backgrounds. So I think love and unity is necessary to make the world go round. Love and unity is necessary for us to allow our future generations to come in a peaceful place. It's hard when you wake up in a space of animosity and fear daily. It takes love and unity to conquer together. I think even in the Bible, like when they wanted to build this high tower, they had to come together to build it, you know? So I think it's necessary for us to unite, and it takes love to unite. Two of the things I do for self-care is walking. There's a lake by my house, and I just love to stand and listen to the water just rush. And then also like cleaning my space, because I can't think when it's messy. So I need all my dishes washed, like no matter, like even if it's 1 a.m. and there's stuff in the sink, I'm gonna wash it. When I wash my dishes, I feel just connected to hear the water and like the motion of the soap and just getting the filthiness off. It just brings me peace, and it just brings me closer to God. I feel like I'm not, while I'm doing these errands, I'm not thinking about, oh, like this is due, that is due. I'm just there in that moment, being in the moment and hearing the water, and I can really reflect and think and talk to God.
If you want to change the world, like, do you even make up your bed first in the morning?
I think for me, I love acting because I can become so many different characters. And growing up, I was kind of shy. I'm Nigerian, so like we had a lot of rules. Don't do this, don't do that. Greet your elders like this. So it's kind of like I lived in a bubble. But when I become these characters, I can be whoever I want. I can be this crazy lady. I can do this. I can say that. And it just gave me a voice. It gave me a voice to speak. When I'm on set, I feel like I don't have to please anybody. I can move how I want. I can speak how I want. I can do whatever I want. I also think these characters and these stories gives voices to the voiceless. Like, some people only identify with art. Some people only know how they're feeling when they listen to a certain song or when they watch a certain movie. Recently, Ava did When They See Us Again, and no one really knew about the case, you know? Now the newer generation, they woke up and they had a voice, and they were like, no, this is wrong. Like, why did this happen? And that was from film. That was from acting. That was from directing. That was from art, you know? So it gives voice to the voiceless, and it educates and it empowers us to speak up.
I personally feel like a lot of people don't have artists that they can relate to on a consistent basis. We have the things that we, you know, have playing on the radio, but a lot of that stuff you really can't connect to. That's just more so a lifestyle that we, you know, want to cling on to, but it's not, you know, personally relatable. So I definitely think that people just in general, I feel like the more that I meet people, especially people that I don't know, you know, listen to my music, or just vice versa, people that I've met that, you know, have never heard of me, I do feel like having that, you know, that core relationship just in general with anybody, it just levels everything out. I feel like it allows people to be aware of, you know, other people's emotions, feelings, mindsets, whatever. I feel like that's the best way I can answer that question.
For me, it's a commitment to myself, first and foremost. I need to know that I am actively engaged in how I am, who I am. And I need to know that I'm making that commitment to move forward in my art. I need to to know that I'm present. I need to know that if I'm sad, I'm sad. If I'm mad, I'm mad. If I'm happy, I'm happy. Like, I need to know that and to be engaged in that. And so then that takes me off to other people that I'm in community with. And I need to know that they're also going to acknowledge that honesty and also going to acknowledge how present we are. So that's where the love is. I think the love is an acknowledgement that things have to be activated, and for it to be activated, it may not be linear. Actually, it's very, very circular. It's very, 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 very circular. And it's very multiplicitous. So if the love is activated, then, I mean, it's going to be sustainable. To love is a lot about the commitment and finding the will to love. I think that if I have the strength to love, then I have the discipline and also the responsibility to hold someone and hold whatever I'm doing in full honesty, and to keep doing that, and to know that it may not look the same every day, and it shouldn't. However, I'm still committed in doing it.